Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a quick review of the Zowie EC2-DW, the long-awaited EC2 update. And what they've done mainly is make it a lot lighter. I didn't even realize until I put my EC2-CW on the scale that this thing weighed 77 grams. Like, it's just absurdly dense. So this comes in at 59 grams stock, which is the same that my Vaxee E1 weighs, which, as you know, Vaxee, they've released a very similar shape. It's not an identical clone. The E1 is a bit shorter, but the profile, it feels like an EC in hand. One other difference is that there's more room for you to place your ring finger towards the front of the mouse on the actual EC2. And yeah, there's really not much else new design-wise. I will say the weight balancing, it doesn't feel off, but this mouse, it just still has a somewhat bulky feeling, even though the Dex and the Vaxee E1 are all 59 grams. They all feel somewhat different. It could possibly be the skates I have as well, but I just swear my E1 feels a bit more balanced and agile. However, I should point out that one of the advertised features on this mouse is the ability to have faster horizontal movements than the competition. I believe they state you'll be able to move this 370 millimeters per second, as opposed to 360 on a competing mouse. I mean, it's just one of the most incredible things I've ever seen on a website. I can't really vouch how effective that is, but I do like the mouse. It's an EC. If you palm grip, if it fits like a glove in your hand, you're probably gonna like it. I did a few months ago when the E1 released, I practically said, you might as well get this if you're into the EC. So yeah, the world of EC clones, it's never simple. If you were holding out for Zowie's official release, especially if you have an EC2-CW, I would say it's probably worth an upgrade. Then again, the EC2-CW is down to $100, so if you are some freak who prefers a heavier mouse on Amazon, that's really not a bad ergo buy. I will compare it to the E1 in a few ways, because I think the E1, it just low-key outclasses it. One thing is click feel. That is a lot better on the E1. And yeah, at this point, Zowie is very known for sticking to their designs. But yeah, there is definitely a good amount of pre-travel. Some people enjoy how that gives it a light and bouncy click feeling. But I just feel like the E1, it's a higher quality, more tactile, even faster rebounding, very light. It's just such an ideal click feeling. Vaxee is really the best when it comes to click implementations, so comparing it to something that feels practically identical to Zowie's implementation from a year and a half, 2 years ago, yeah, it's not any better than it was before, but it's still Zowie. Then again, they haven't changed things like the side button design, which I do find to be much better than the E1s, especially for Fortnite. You just don't want these small, high up, just they seem like a very scared side button design. But yeah, for me personally, I've always been a fan of the larger surface area side buttons. There's no issues when it comes to side to side wobble, pre-travel, post-travel. I guess there's some, but it's a very manageable amount. These buttons feel great in game. Then again, the click latency, yes, this will lose out to the E1. Is it the end of the world? No, but I will say after, God, that car's honking about click latency. But yeah, after the recent web software and firmware update, I swear the E1 just feels even cleaner than it did previously. Yeah, I understand most people see both of these mice use 3950s, go up to 4K polling, and assume it's identical. And really, I mean, that's not an awful way to operate. I will say, though, Vaxee's competitive mode, there just is something special feeling about Vaxee's 3950 implementation. Not a make or break difference, but if you are somebody who cares about having the best possible latency, go for Vaxee. Zowie does advertise their enhanced receiver, which offers supreme resistance against wireless interference, and they say the directionality of the signal, on other dongles, it's omnidirectional, but they're able to channel the signal right to your mouse. And the wireless experience, it feels good on this mouse. I can't really knock it. But considering both of these mice are upwards of 140 USD, there's a lot of similarities. You pretty much just pick your poison. The fact that the E1 has existed and still low-key outclasses it, that's definitely worth something. But if you are a Zowie fanboy and you want the Zowie experience all around, it is going to be present here. But yeah, I just can't pretend it's my first time ever using a Zowie mouse and talk about the coding, the scroll wheel. It's these things are the same. The mouse skates are actually different. As you can see, they have the dock accommodating top skate. Just lots of surface area all around on these. Definitely I was preferring to use this mouse on speedier pads, but you can throw whatever you want on it and just turn on higher LOD if you're using like a thick skate. They also do include a set of the black skates in the box if that is what you desire. Build quality wise, even with the pretty big weight drop, there's just nothing to notice. That's why I didn't really speak about it till now. It's crazy. Like, what do they have that was practically 20 grams in this fucking EC2-CW? One big advantage, though, is the fact that they are going to offer the DW line in other sizes. So having an EC1 DW, for example, that really could be the best super large ergo in the weight range, especially if you do prefer just like the classic Zowie feeling. But yeah, that obviously hasn't released yet, and Zowie has not been quick to release the other sizes. Just in general, I like Zowie as a brand, but I'll be honest, I have not been using their mice as much. The only one that's really still in my rotation is the S2, and just in general, the EC is never a shape that, I'm not going to say it hasn't clicked for me, but for how I claw grip, something like the GPX Dex is a much more preferable ergo. And yeah, just a side note, I love my Dex, but there is a crazy amount of just pre-travel and a generally mushy feeling on these side buttons as I've used the mouse like intensively, I guess. So yeah, it's all of these ergos that are around $150. If it's comfortable, if it fits your hand well, you're probably going to be extremely satisfied by it. So the EC2, it offers stability, familiarity. I'm truly just rambling on at this point. If you have any other questions, if there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I don't know about the seal of approval. Like, it could easily get it, but this isn't something I'm going to come back to beyond comparisons, and it's not like the #1 ergo I'm recommending unless you're just like a Zowie fan or you know you want the classic EC2. Like, it's a good weight reduction, but I feel like Vaxee already more or less offered this previously. Yeah, like I mentioned previously, it's just a pick your poison situation. There are features that you could find preferable on each of these mice. The EC2 is a bit longer and thus larger, so if you really do prefer just the EC2 shell that you used like half a decade ago, then this is just the modernized version of that. Not much else to note. Any other questions, let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, that's all. Peace out.